Welcome back to the desk, and it's my favorite time of the week. It's time for some North American console.
Eager taking on Erry Day Carry, a return of finals that I think we're going to be seeing for quite some time. The two essentially top teams in console. And honestly, EDC bringing in Weekend a couple weeks ago. Chapo switched to solo lane, and they brought in Elbro Chacho last week as well. So this team, it's looking real solid to maybe finally upset.
It is, but we're starting to see the same names in the semi-finals every week as well, with Cognitive and Most Wanted Esports climbing up there as well. So when you look at the standings and how things are going in terms of points, you can clearly see these are the top four we're kind of going to see in the Pro League potentially with how things are going.
More than likely. Obviously, just a couple more weeks left of qualifiers, and then we'll figure out the amount of teams or the teams that will make it in. And it does seem to be consistent here. Eager, though, still, I think, the top dogs. And it's up to Erry Day Carry here to really upset them and kind of finally establish their lineup as not just the number two, just the number one, because that's what they've been working on for so long, even last year.
I agree. I think one of the things that they could take away from this, though, is not necessarily having to beat Eager now. They've solidified themselves as a second seed here. Why not go in and just like learn more about the opposition, get their picks and ban strategies, get their playstyles down, and then when it gets to crunch time, which is the Pro League kicking off, then stomp them,
Beat them hard.
beat them hard.
Team Eager. They're going to be the the Order side for this matchup, facing off against Erry Day Carry on the Chaos side. Starting it off quick, Kepri still remaining up there, 97% pick and ban rate.
Not a big surprise is Guan Yu also taken away on the console side of things. Guan Yu just brings so much to the table. He's seen a lot in all scenes at the moment. Lots of sustain, as well as very difficult to escape that cavalry charge, which is one of the highest damaging ultimates in the game.
I think it is the highest damage. If you can connect all hits.
Higher, right?
It's close. They're
It's
both
close.
up there.
It's one of those.
Yeah,
two.
Ymir's a guardian, believe it or not.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just
Cons low damage.
level 4, just freeze, glacial strike, and
Well,
just die.
Kwang, that's a respect. You don't see him picked or banned too much over in console. However, when you're up against Weekend, he ain't scared of running it. I actually say that, but it's Weekend who banned it.
It's Myflin, really. And the first time we saw this matchup, I'm pretty sure it was Weekend getting destroyed by Myflin's Kwang, so not a bad thing to take away. But what you do leave up is the rising superstar in both scenes in Odin.
Odin. Well, he's rising for now until patches slowly filter through.
Spectral armor.
And we'll see what happens.
Spectral armor. Rip Odin, man.
What do you? I don't think. To be fair, that's going to cost you 2 abilities. It's going to cost you a relic
Hey, man.
and a lot of
You know
gold.
what people have been saying, right? You
What?
buy Scout.
Okay.
And it's because you go back to base and it refills.
If you want to.
So Odin cages you, you Scout, and then you go back, get it refilled again, and you
Listen,
got it up.
If you want to go and get Scout
Hey, man.
just to deal with an Odin, I'm okay as
Wrath
Odin.
as well.
I
You can go
forced you into a
Wrath. You're like, I only need this for
You'd
objectives.
have 5 scouts in your team. You're going to be useless. Sol and Zeus locked in response by Erry Day Carry here. More than likely for the duo lane, Sol and Zeus for mid.
A little bit worrying here. Obviously, Zeus and Odin combined together are very strong, but Odin also just very good against Zeus alone. You can trap him in the cage. He can't really go anywhere. Although a lot of the times, he can't really go anywhere anyways if you dive him. He can just drop all of his abilities, Sanctuary up. You even heard Incon kind of on the call in that last game after their win with the interview. And Zeus it's kind of like a win-win here, or a lose-lose situation. I don't know.
I mean, as well, when you lock in Zeus and you're against Thor and Odin, you're not going to have a good time of things because you're not escaping the ring and you're going to get dunked on from high heaven consistently.
Neith as well. So a good amount of
Reavers.
globals coming up from Eager. I really expect them to kind of abuse this Zeus early. Looking for a little bit of setup. CDC, they're going to need a support here to keep him alive. I'd like to see Geb, because otherwise I imagine that's going to be banned away.
Yeah, Geb could be a good option for them. Athena also on the table, though, for those big taunts, but it will be Awilix, which is a good shutdown to Odin and Neith for the most part in terms of the backflip and the lunge. We have to be pulled out from that ability. And obviously, on the side of Erry Day Carry, we can very established with that god.
We're going to see the bans come out. EDC, they will have the first pick in the second half of the phase, so I imagine them to look for their support, a god that's going to be able to protect Zeus. I would also like to see an Athena banned by EDC, but they run the worry of having the Geb banned as well.
No. You want to ban Giannis. You do not want Delta Marine to have Giannis or Isis, because that guy is dangerous on console. He's probably the most dangerous mid laner I've seen. Take away his Isis, take away his Giannis, and then go, what have you got next, because you're coming up against Zeus.
EDC here. Will they ban away Delta Marine, who has been phenomenal so far on the console scene? Giannis would be a good ban.
What was the shot you wanted? Athena?
Athena, but now with Geb banned, you leave Athena up so you can grab it. I would imagine Eager are going to ban it away, though, if that if it comes down to that.
Yeah, I can see Ego within the ones to do that. I don't think they were going to look for that, but there's the Giannis
Okay.
ban. It's almost like I know the results beforehand, but I don't.
You're magical.
I am magical. It's the knowledge of a caster.
You feeling okay?
I'm feeling great.
I
feel
feel prophetic at this point.
amazing.
Prophet
It's been a
Hindu.
lovely day. And it's going to be rounded out with finals of the North American console.
Final band coming in this second phase. Eager. I'd like to see them take away the Athena, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
You're really good at this too.
I know, man. It's almost like we've been casting for a while.
Almost is.
So that leaves a little bit of a limited amount of.
I think Erry Day Carry need to really
here.
think about this situation quite a lot and use this full time to really consider every single option on the table, especially against this composition.
So player-wise, you always expect Chacho to go into an Ares. It's a god he's very comfortable with. But honestly, and a god I'd like to see here is Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna not only has a lot of CC, but very good specifically against Thor and Odin as well. And the reason is, when Odin jumps in, you can mez him, and then you can allow your Zeus to kind of make that space and get out anyway. They are going to go the tier, though, instead. So tier going to go to Chapo, and he has so far played phenomenally on it. This is his god in the solo lane.
It is, and the thing is, at the moment, Odin's still a flex pick. Could be over in that solo lane, could be the support as well. Thor more than likely going to be in the jungle here. So Eager could look for a tier, sorry, not for a tier, for an Ares themselves, which is very good against tier. Good in some circumstances against Awilix.
I would say very good against Awilix.
It's so, I mean, Raw's spoken a lot about
if you're not going to just immediately get turned on, it's very good against Awilix.
It is. Sobek will be locked in by Eager.
Okay.
Which could be in the solo lane as well. It's not something we see so often nowadays just because of the changes to how the solo lanes work and warriors are there. Noir for the mid lane.
The best thing about Noir against like the Awilixes and Kali's is that when she gets jumped on, she can simply drop her minions and explode them for a huge amount of burst. Awilix really excels when she can jump into a fight and then stay in the fight. But the problem is when she has trouble against anyone who can kind of put out a lot of AoE, very bad against mages most specifically, unless she can 100 to 0 them, and then Noir specifically because the minions get dropped and she gets stunned.
And the thing is, she drops the minions here. There's a chance that Zeus could hit the chain lightning off them, bounce it to her, deal some extra damage as well. Erry Day Carry last pick. Ares won't be a bad pick here because you're going to try and force them to jump away, which will set Awilix up for an opportunity, but it will be Xing 10. Xing 10 also has a knock-up in his kit as well. Rest in peace, the Root. But he's still got a knock-up.
I'm very surprised about this. You can see 2% pick rate, and I believe that was Zindern, the only person we've seen play.
Is this above both console and PC?
I think so. I think that's what we're looking at.
But
yeah, Xing 10. I don't know about this.
What do you know about this?
I just think Kumbhakarna is better here. You already have enough carries, right? You got Chapo on the tier, you got Sol and Zeus. Awilix is well a very hard carry. I would really like to see Kumbha or anyone that has a high amount of guaranteed CC. Xing 10 has kind of setup CC, not really peel CC. And they could go on pretty long cooldowns. It's interesting, though. There is a lot of damage coming out of this dual lane. If it is a Xing 10 support like we suspect, and Sol in the Hunter.
With that comp, it's got to be Xing 10 support. You're not going to see Xing in the jungle.
There's a lot of damage on EDC.
You're not going to see Xing in the jungle.
Not a lot of peel. You never know, man. It's weekend.
Actually, he did one combo. That's true.
And Khepri.
And Khepri, but I don't think Xing's really got the clear.
Huh.
But neither does Khepri, technically. I mean,
he could go Wrath, man. You never know. No, he's not. It's Awilix.
Ludicrous. No,
so it appears there was a pause here in this first game, guys. So we're going to be getting into the game here shortly.
So Odin should be solo lane here. It could be Sobek, however, still. But Sobek, Neith, pretty much a safe duo lane coming up against that Xing 10 Sol. Wave clear will go the way of Xing 10 and Sol here just because of the Stellar Burst as well as the Raw coming out from Xing 10. It'll be a little bit more impactful than what we'll see out of the Sobek in terms of wave clear with that tail whip. However, once Neith hits about level 4, full wave clear will be on the cards with Transcendence being worked on at the beginning of this game.
Early wards coming out from both teams here. Neither really seems to want to fight. You can see Sobek over there on the left-hand side. Jellly getting a little dangerous, trying to find a pluck, but no follow-up.
So you can see there's a quick pause coming through from the console boys, just getting themselves worked up and sorted. For this game, we saw that over in Europe yesterday. There was a bit of a disconnect in the finals where EU internet connections, man, feels bad. I know he was from UK. He's with BT.
Was it Danny UK? Is it UK Danny UK again?
It was UK. I don't think it was him who DC'd. It was Bean who DC'd. Barrage Bean, who wasn't playing for Barrage.
You know what I heard the other day?
What did you hear?
I heard you guys started talking about the 50-meter fly.
The 50-meter fly.
My man, the 50-meter fly. You and Tom.
Well, he flew, but he didn't fly the direction he wanted to fly. I'll tell you that much. He flew back to base most of the time in that game. Unfortunate for him. But Eager versus Erry Day Carry. Here we go. Back in game. 20 seconds. Counting down towards minion spawn, which spawn in the jungle at 4 seconds. For those at home that didn't know, that's when those minions spawn.
Chapo going back into that Transcendent. Something we don't ever really see from anyone outside of him. Really likes the damage tier. Likes to get ahead early, although a little bit worrying. Chapo's interesting, right? Because he's very good. But the problem is sometimes when he gets ahead, he continues to stay aggressive even when he's in an awkward spot, which is why Transcendence works out for him so well early. You'll actually see him solo a lot of players, get a lot of early kills, but he really needs to be worried this match specifically because of the Neith and the Thor on the other team. A lot of globals that I expect to really focus down on this tier.
Start of the game, you can see that Erry Day Carry did the mid harpies on the right-hand side, then rotated to their blue buff, so they've already hit level 2. A little bit of an experience lead for them as Thor now joins the mid lane. We'll be looking for 2 himself. However, Erry Day Carry should get both these mid harpies now just because of the pressure they got off.
And going to be uncontested. Left-hand side, though, Xing going to be a little bit aggressive. And
good poke.
I do expect the Soul and Xing to kind of win this early game. Although they do have to be a little bit worried against the Sobek specifically. Getting plucked into an awkward spot and rooted as well.
About the solo lane, I mean, with Odin here. If Odin can confirm every single bird bomb onto Elchapo, it's going to cause him a lot of issues in this lane. However, if he doesn't connect them, then what you're going to see is that Tier should dominate this lane and not really have a hard time of things. So this Transcendent start will work in his favor.
Especially with his heals being a little bit more effective. Left-hand side, though. Okay, the team's got a little bit aggressive, then backed off. Right-hand side, though, you can see it's Dwurst who has control of this so far. Tier kind of lackluster until level 3. Once he gets switch stances, he becomes a lot more effective, able to keep himself healthy. But it looks like Weaken wants to fight early.
He's wanting to fight early because he's got that power pot online.
The
chain lightning hits, and that's going to really put Marine under a lot of pressure there. Did pop a health potion and a mana potion.
Needs to be careful.
Survived because of the stun more than anything else. But that's Weaken with the power pot, trying to abuse Awilix early game with that feather staff.
She's so good early. Just her base damage is absurd. Able to take characters from 100% life to 20% or lower. And look at this, they baited it once again. Weaken's going to jump forward.
Going to jump in, but the fog comes down. The chain lightning bounce to only him. Good night, sweet princess.
You may be invisible, but lightning still will find you there through the fog. First blood going the way of EDC. Really well played from them. Weaken actually not even electing to try and dive too deep onto Delta Marine. Knows that he could get turned on, especially so close to that tower, because Thor still does a lot of damage early, especially with his passive providing him bonus power in that matchup. Instead goes onto the Thor, and
now he's swinging around to the left-hand side looking for a pick. He is level 5, and the pluck comes off from Sobek, but now Sobek's in an awkward position here. He needs to keep facing forward so he doesn't get pulled in, but the tailwind will force it anyway. Sorry, I lied. The knock-up forces it from Xing, but they don't find the kill.
And honestly, it seems like AirCougar might be able to turn this. No, has to back off. You can see Aggro rotating. And not going to be able to find anything, though. The boards on the left-hand side are up, but EDC don't look like they want to force that just yet. Honestly, though, EDC, they've been the aggressors all game. Not something you typically see in this matchup.
I do like what AirCougar did there, though. AirCougar noticed it was his support being the focus in that engagement. Didn't panic and run away like some hunters generally do. Sat in the fight and did damage back to force them back and realize they need to watch their own health bars. And in the end, that allowed Jellly to survive that engagement without being poked down to death.
Dwurst, he's going to take a trip back to the base here. You can see he's actually even in gold with Chapo, so even though Chapo lost the early game, he's not too worried. Going to go grab these fire elementals.
And Chapo as well, not taking a relic just yet. I think he's trying to hold off getting a teleport if he can help it. You don't need to get the teleport at the beginning of the game because when you go back, you can buy it anyway. However, I think he's going to invest now because he's based in here. And that minion wave, he'll lose it if he doesn't buy it. So there it is. Teleport picked up as well as full Transcendence.
And now this tier going to be starting to get some stacks. Still no mobility, so open to ganks, also no protection. That's one thing that Chapo's going to have to worry about. Most soul laners very early go into the boots, so they have the movement abilities to kind of escape these ganks. And with the Thor and the Neith, I would really like to see Eager take advantage of this. Focus down Chapo. He has no protections. He has no way to escape ganks outside of his ultimate. And honestly, if Dwurst can bait that, he's as good as dead.
Well, Zeus in the mid lane got the first blood at the beginning of this game. And Aggro now in a pretty good position with that helm finish, working towards the boots too, some sort of penetration and some protections, which will come in handy against this Thor, at least in the early stages. But still going to deal with the magical damage coming out from Noir.
You can see Aggro already with a 600 gold lead, not something you would expect, especially considering that first blood, while he did get it, it was shared with Weekend, but looks like Zeus in an awkward spot.
He's going to fall down to the minion more than anything, so to the tower to shots more than anything, but Myflin comes in at the right time as well. Jellly with a very good pluck, and we're starting to see more and more of his Sobek really making an impact.
Oh, Myflin comes crashing down looking for Brochacho, but he's going to get swung up in the air, and Jellly gets caught as well. Doesn't matter. Myflin finds El Brochacho. Jellly, though, the one put into an awkward spot, and Weekend returns the favor.
Brochacho, though, over the wall with the Lawbringer, looking for the Fearless, doesn't find Marine, who hid in the fog just away from the danger end of that giant sword.
Myflin and Delta Marine definitely knew that was coming. You could see Dwurst had started to rotate, called it out. A good job from Eager, making sure not to fall in return. But Zeus there, a little bit of a mechanical error coming up from Aggro. Actually used his beads, but he was already flung up in the air by that point.
It's a very difficult
so still
thing.
dropped in tower. The timing's not easy, especially if you're not expecting it.
The key with the pluck there, what happens is the first one hits with a stun, and then you get pulled after. So you have to beat the stun or purify the stun.
The second you're in the air, it doesn't matter if your beads go off
at all. And now you don't get cooldown reduction from those anymore either, so it's completely wasted. There was a guy called Elchapo over on this right side, but nothing he's going to be too worried about for now, as he's still stacking up that Transcendence of his, which will really increase the damage a lot.
Yeah, I know. Early game, though, still going over the way of EDC. They were able to get that first blood, so a slight 500 gold lead, and honestly a misplay from them to throw away Aggro's life, but that's going to be helpful for Delta Marine specifically, who is down so much, but he's been able to inch his way back into a closer gold lead, although still, I guess he's still pretty far behind, 400 gold.
He's in a terrible position, but that was more like lack of respect for Jellly Sobek.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was expecting there. Maybe he hasn't played against Sobek recently. He definitely just walked in front of the Sobek in the tower.
Sobek very underestimated.
Maybe he was trying to bait the purification because they knew they'd be able to turn on him and just mistimed it.
And Sobek's one of these supports that actually gets away with murder quite a lot, because if you charge in and you miss,
use ult.
It feels bad, but then you could tail whip in one circumstance or ult to get yourself back out of the danger again if you need to.
Trying to go for the same thing there, Jellly just off the mark. Trying to keep, put Brochacho in the tower. And that would have been very bad for Brochacho, specifically because he was in the middle of his dash, which means that would have been canceled out. He would have been forced to ult immediately. And if he doesn't catch the people he needs, I mean, Eager would have been able to turn on him. I mean, Thor still red pot in hand.
Talking a little bit more about the Sobek as well, I believe Eager, they've played Sobek before, but I think in this situation they picked it just to make sure that it didn't go the way of Erry Day Carry. Because if we would have seen El Brochacho on that over in the support role for the boys of Erry Day Carry, the amount of pulls that could happen based off a Awilix on the side too, even if everybody sets it up.
Jellly gonna get caught out here between Xing and Zeus. Gonna take a little bit of poke, but he'll ult away to safety. Heal up a little bit of his mana.
Over on the left-hand side, though.
Wait, what?
Chapo with a big rotation, going to charge down Cougar, who does not have an escape here.
Oh, no.
Jukes out the Spirit Arrow.
AirCougar actually killed himself with those purifications. Honestly, if he would have let Chapo finish off that Fearless, he still probably would have died, but guaranteed himself to get secured and not getting put in a good spot.
But that was Elchapo playing very well, because he noticed Dwurst just teleported over to the right-hand side, but now Myflin comes crashing down looking to secure the Gold Fury. He will get the kill on El Brochacho, though. Gold Fury does finally go down the way of Erry Day Carries. Dwurst finally turns up, but they're all running to get away from the ring.
The wall was beautiful, and there's the ring. 2 players trapped inside. Zachsy able to disapparate out, but Aggro, he's the one caught now, and Dwurst swinging away. The new ult's not enough to finish it. Dwurst should guarantee this kill, doesn't even need to risk jumping. Going to be in the area, and he finds a kill, but still, overall, the way of EDC with that Gold Fury.
Love the play from Dwurst to hold the leap there so he didn't accidentally miss some of his damage. There's no focus on too much.
Awilix still has ult.
Weekend trying to bait him in a little bit here. Going to get juggled just away from the tower edge. Elchapo was really looking for it, but now Jellly is back with Delta Marine in support, but so is El Brochacho.
Oh, and he's going to find 2. Oh, no, beads coming out from Delta Marine. Pulled back in. Bye-bye, Jellly. No, actually gets a stun, and Chapo almost dies. Jellly actually kites through the fog, and Brochacho can't find the last hit. Oh, man.
Crazy event. Let's check in with the Golden Experiences. The red buff's being contested just to see how it's looking. Completely even in experience, but gold is the favourite of Erry Day Carry just because of that Gold Fury, but it immediately whittled down by the kills and the stolen jungle.
A good job from Eager responding to that, considering it was basically a free Gold Fury. You saw Thor come crashing down. They tried to steal it, and honestly, EDC almost coming up with a couple big kills in the end there, but Jellly able to snake his way out.
Able to snake his way out just in time. So I didn't really think about that too much, but the ultimate coming out, what's the ultimate called for Xing? The washing machine?
No, it's Whirlwind of Rage and Steel.
Who makes these names?
I don't know, not us.
Whirlwind of Rage and
I
Steel.
just call it Whirlwind now because that's what...
Imagine getting excited about. No, you can't call it Whirlwind because that's technically what Kukulkan
But
is.
no one plays Kukulkan. That's the beauty of it. Allied's gone. He's washed up now. He's a caster like us, which means we're not going to see Kukulkan anymore. It's great. Until Shadow Nightmare starts playing it again, then we have problems.
Then we'll have problems.
And with Dignitas rolling as they are, I really feel like he'll bring it out.
But that ultimate, I didn't really think about it, but when you throw them into the air, you are pullable. So Awilix did pull in Jellly based off that ultimate. Just wasn't enough to secure the kill, unfortunately.
Tier as well. Fearless can knock him up into the air. So there's a lot of options for this Awilix to find some kills. And
it's a good position right now for Erry Day Carry. They're up against Eager. Eager, for the most part, have dominated so far in the console side of things over in North America.
For a while, too. Even last year.
There's a few teams that have climbed, though, this year overall. We've seen Erry Day Carry make it up there.
Most Wanted
Esports, another one, and Cognitive as well. Another name that are back on it. So we're going to take a few more seconds before we get back into that game. Hopefully, everything should be ready soon. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know, man.
Is it just tactical talk?
Chapo just bought a car, so he's probably out there looking at it. He's like, guys, I got to make sure it's still okay.
But he heard the alarm go off.
He heard the alarm go off.
He was like, hey, 1 second.
He's like, he's got that stream money now. He's big time.
FDOT's trying to steal his car. That's what's going on.
Probably. FDOT would steal his car.
He would. He looks the type, FDOT.
Yeah. Whoa.
FDOT is the type.
So yeah, still a pause, guys. We'll be back into the game as soon as we can. EDC, like you said, in a pretty good spot there after the gold tier, even though they did lose a couple of kills. The biggest problem for Eager is they weren't able to get a lot of it. What you normally see from teams when they try and counter Gold Furies is they go for that mid tower. They'll get a kill or two and then go for the mid tower, but they kept trying to look for kills and more importantly, save their players that had dove in too deep. So they were able to get a couple buffs, but not really any objectives that they had wanted.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is take a quick break, guys, while this pause is going on. Apologies. We're basically trying to keep you all the live action coming, so we'll cut to a quick break. Once they're through this pause, we'll come back at you with the rest of this game. Welcome back to some more console action. Less than 10 minutes in this game, and the pause is now subsided. It's 4-3 in favor of Erry Day Carry, sorry, to Eager, but the Golden Experience is a different story based on that Gold Fury that Erry Day Carry got.
About 1,000 gold lead currently for EDC. We'll see if they can translate this into anything more. I do like their team composition when it comes to damage, but I'm very worried about any type of peel, because I always talk about kind of the mindsets and types of players people are, and Chapo is this guy who, he's not peeling for anyone, man. He's going all in, he's diving, and Weekend is very much the same thing. I think sometimes he can kind of back off and look to peel for his team, but Chapo is all in. I agree. Which means you have to rely on a Xing 10 to peel for your carries, most notably the Zeus and the Soul. Now, Soul has a little bit to peel for herself because of the corporeal form, but Zeus, he's kind of caught out in no man's land sometimes.
And Xing 10, he's only really got a knock-up and an ultimate. That's really his only forms of peel whatsoever. And so I'm looking towards Aggro for his self-peel duties that he's going to have for the majority of this game. You can see across the way, I mean, Delta Marine, he's on New War, so he's like, oh, I'm in trouble, I'll ult out.
Left-hand side, Jellly actually going to get aggressed on, but he gets off his ult just in time. New Wall takes to the sky.
Elchapo, though, he took to the sky because Elchapo was swinging around the back looking for a pick on him, but he got caught out just in time as Myflin comes dunking in onto Aggro, and we talked about the zoning work for Aggro, but Zachsy gets a kill with a supernova onto Jellly as Elchapo is zoning away the carries as the rest of his team are looking at Dwurst.
AirCougar turns it on Chapo's head, though. Dwurst's going to turn around, will take a little bit of poke, and Myflin coming back in, going to find the stun, teleports to his hammer, but Separate is going to be on point, so overall a 1-for-1 trade.
1-for-1 trade indeed. Elchapo for Jellly support for solo later, so for me, net win coming out there for Eager. It's not so bad to really lose your support. This Jellly what happens quite a lot.
I kind of just let him go on his own. And Jellly actually going into an interesting build because we've seen a lot of supports kind of switch styles into a very early CDR build. So not only does he have, he didn't go to the CDR boots, but he's going into a breastplate early, and he also has the Traveler shoes. Now, while that will give him bonus HP 5 when he's out of combat, it's not a lot of health. And if a team all-ins you, you could just die, and you saw that there. Jellly getting quickly killed with all that burst coming out on EDC, and this is a little bit
Elchapo.
worrying for him.
Elchapo, he got quickly bursted down there by New War and Neith there up on the front line. Obviously, he didn't go for a very defensive option that we see out of most tiers. That aggression didn't pay off that time round, so probably needs to build up some more defense. You can see he's already working on that with the Breastplate of Valor.
Still no health, though, and that's always something you have to worry about when up against kind of these mages and these carries that could... Yeah, I think so.
But when
I mean, he has a self-heal.
And healing becomes more effective if you've got a lower health pool and high protections.
It does, but it's still the fact that you can get 100 to 0. That's a worrying thing, especially this new wall. Now, that's why it's kind of good for him, because he's up against a new wall who can't really guarantee her damage in a lot of these situations. Has to really rely on a person being close to her so she can get that burst damage when she explodes them, but... I mean, Jell's going to be swinging. I don't know, man. It's awkward because there's a lot of burst damage on both of these teams, and neither team are really looking to invest into health pools.
Oh, Wicked went for his ultimate there after Brochacho dives in, but didn't manage to find anyone with that. Is level 12 though, so he can be heading for a relic very, very soon. He's actually going to head straight back there for it now and probably start working on his next item. Will it be defense or offense though?
I would imagine defense. Typically, you'll see Weekend going into like a pretty bridge defense. Nope, he said, I'm going for damage. I'm going to kill people.
As well, with Blink was these other relic picked up there as well. Meanwhile, other relics picked up, you can see both the Hunters over there with Purification and Sanctuary alike. And they're both having a pretty good game so far, apart from AirCougar getting picked off in the jungle by Chapo's very early rotation. Both having a pretty good time of things.
And that was a beautiful play. I do kind of want to talk about it because we only mentioned it. He sees Dwurst actually teleport to the lane, and then he immediately teleports to a ward over on the left-hand side. You almost never see this. I've actually yet to see this in PC-level play, actually teleporting behind a team this early on, right? Later in the game, you'll see it. But that early on, pre-10 minutes, he's able to find the pick and then guarantee that Gold Fury and allow EDC to find themselves a small lead.
And that was the key, guaranteeing the Gold Fury. They didn't win the fight afterwards because Dwurst did make the rotation. Credit to him. He realized what was going on, pushed the wave under tower, and then made the rotation and found a pick in response, which was very important, as we saw the buff being taken there in the jungle.
Xing 10 actually doesn't get stunned, but Jellly's still going to fling him. And, the minion explosion doesn't go off in time, and Brochacho gets to the end of his dash. AirCougar just off the mark.
It would have connected, it would have caused issues. That chain lightning, though, bounced to 2 members. No detonate coming out yet, though. Talking about the junglers, though. Myflin at the moment, 3-0-0 on this Thor, having a very good team.
Having a very good counter-engaged team, because it's actually been EDC who have really been forcing most of these fights.
You can see that now Weekend is in a lot of trouble there. Doesn't have Suku to fall back on now, so he has to use the Feather Step, but it's a little bit too early. You saw Suku appear, but it was too little, too late, and Jellly.
You saw how close he was to killing Jellly as well? That's the thing that's worrying about him. Even with that Breastplate of Valor, Feather Step is still doing so much damage to him.
And now look at this, the rotation from Dwurst coming over here, looking to pressure 2. Has teleport still available, Elchapo in mid lane 2 to support as the double tap connects. But Myflin uses the Purification there, not sure why.
I think he was slowed by the chain lightning, so just wanted to create a little bit more space so he wouldn't have Aggro guarantee another auto attack, although he did anyway.
We actually saw as well, Dwurst took the right-hand Harpies. So went towards the right-hand Harpies, they were down, but did pick up the Imps on the rotation back to this lane. So still a little bit behind Elchapo, though, who's having a pretty good time of things so far. Dwurst isn't far behind him.
The only goal difference right now is the Gold Fury from Chapo. It's just a slight experience lead in his favor. Not too big of a deal, but honestly, now that he's going to be able to finish his Breastplate of Valor and ideally start building into, a little bit more frontliney, I would like to see a magical defense item specifically, and that's exactly what he's going to go to. Tier 2 Silver Talisman.
So it'll be Bulwark, more than likely, coming online for him as well. And his side, Hunters at the moment, you can see their builds where they're going. Obviously, Sol, a magical hunter to an extent. Nobody classes a mage, but Doom Orb online, then Boots, and it looks like we're going to see the Telkines coming out again, which we've seen a little bit more now. Zatman was one of the first ones to do it in competitive play, and more people are starting to pick this up.
It could be a demonic grip as well, but I do imagine the Telekines. Jellly actually going to flip Brochacho into his team, but he's going to get turned on, and this is the problem, man.
We just saw Elchapo blink over the wall after the teleport. Got a Lawbringer looking for Cougar. Knows the backflip is down. The beads were available, but it's not going to make an impact as Elchapo picks up Cougar too. They're looking for more with that very big ultimate coming out from Aggro, but Sanctuary saves the day, I believe.
This should guarantee a Gold Fury, though. You can already see all 5 members of EDC surrounding him. Dwurst is going to be fighting Elchapo, who's just going to try and poke him down and keep him busy. And look at that. There's no way he gets into that Gold Fury.
That's Elchapo.
He's trying.
It's not Elchapo, but there's Myflin coming in looking to steal the Gold Fury away, at least pick up a kill. Not going to find anything there, but they do get 2 kills with the 5 shots. Gold Fury resets. This is a good fight for Eager now. The turn is around. Aggro's in trouble on the backside. Going to get ringed in. You saw Dwurst was trying to support, but Aggro trades it 1-for-1.
Oh, Dwurst coming up with 3 kills. Resets the Gold Fury as well. Chapo actually electing to start up the red buff, not expecting the turnaround there at the start, and was a little bit too late to zone for his team. And Eager, that was a very beautiful play from them, because if they had lost that Gold Fury, it would have been a very slippery slope, but they've closed the gap now, only down 800 gold, and this tier 1 tower should even it all up.
Dwurst played that very well. He did actually lose a player because of it, but he left Aggro alive for the time being to make sure he got a ring off on 2 to try and support Thor to get him out of danger, but that set him up for the triple kill in the end, as well as the 5 shots coming down from Delta Marine. Really impacted that fight, and now the turnaround is here. Eager teleports in with 2. They're on defense shooting. It's only Elchapo here to defend, but the ring is down. Nobody's getting inside that circle for a while. Maybe Awilix though.
Oh man, it's going to be Chapo trying to do his best impression of Team Eager, but it doesn't matter. Gold Fury's down. Weekend finds 1, pulls 1 back in. Myflin, he's in the sky though. Who's he going to go on? It's actually Zeus.
Yeah, Purification goes off. Chain Lightning bounces to him. He's trying to jump away, but Detonate comes through after a very good pluck from him to keep him pinned in place. Chacho going to zone the 3 members of Eager away, and now it's power play for Erry Day Carry again. Back and forth this game.
Eager, though, in the gold lead now after securing that Gold Fury. They're going to steal away the red buff, or at least try. It is successful, so Jellly not able to defend that, and now the team's going to be grouping up for this tier 1 in mid. Dash is down on Jellly, and Chacho goes forward. Oh, no. He only got the Nuwa minions.
Only got the new no, but look at this in the back. The ring is down again from Dwurst. He's in an awkward spot trying to live, but he will pick up a kill on Aggro and escape. Not for long though. The raw from Chacho secure it. Will Weaver coming through to hit Chacho. He's not going to be fine though on the backside. Chapo tried to zone for him. Not going to happen. 11-10 is the scoreline, and now everybody in this game has died.
1-for-1, but you kill Zeus. Very important trade there. 44 gold split the teams, 1,000 experience. This is a very even matchup. Dwurst, though, 5-1-5 somehow in the middle of 4 players is able to lock down Zeus, and that's what we were talking about. You already have enough damage. They picked the Xing, who has set up a couple kills, but the problem is the team has nothing to peel for Zeus once his relics are down.
Completely true, and he's really starting to struggle is Aggro. He's doing his best to stay alive, but died 4 times so far. Those protections from the helm have helped him survive a little bit, but every single time he gets an engagement, relic is having to be built.
I almost want to see a Breastplate of Valor on him. We've seen a lot of mage players go into this. Lassus and the best, more specifically, coming out from the PC
Lassus
scene.
is a jungler.
Incon, excuse me.
Thank you. Get it right.
I've been messing up names all day today. This has not been a good name day for me. I don't know what it. I was calling like Jeff was in the game with Envy somehow. I don't know.
Was he?
No, he wasn't actually. But
Oh.
I said Jeff when it was actually Kiki. It hasn't been the best day for names with me.
Well, 20 minutes in, it's not been a bad day for Eager and
Wait,
Carry so
whoa.
far.
Oh, okay, I thought they were going for Fire Giant there. Myflin.
Did he use Purification?
Yeah, I think he thought Chapo was going to immediately go on him. He's
Oh,
not
that
going to
was a
get
good
knocked
ult.
up. That was beautiful reaction.
Good ult to make sure he didn't get knocked up. Use the immunity to make sure that doesn't happen. But Erry Day Carry, knowing the Thor ult is down here and they've got control of that pit, they're trying to bait somebody in. Difference is, though, Zachsy on that solid is across the other side of the map with Cougar, which shows they shouldn't be trying to do it. Instead, they're going to pressure the tier 1 tower right.
This should go uncontested. Thor's here, no ultimate though, and Dwurst actually going to get flung
You don't
into
wanna
the
throw
rest of
Odin in.
EDC.
Because then he's going to ring you, and the team's going to come in. And you're isolated in a pit as Myflin gets a double tap off. The big play from Chapo, though, going to get a big fearless off there. Force Myflin back. There's the Zeus ult raining down, but immediately the team of Eager disengage.
EDC backing off as well. Jelly's rotated in. Shell is activated, and it looks like the team's going to look for Chacho. They're going to fling him back in. He's immediately going to jump away. But the team is still chasing him. I'm really surprised to see all of EDC back and give up Chacho. They could have fought back into that one.
They give up Chacho, and Chacho was very, very mobile. He's one of the most mobile supports in the game, and nearly made it out of there, but instead, they do trade him, and now it's power play for Eager to look for the tier 1 tower in response to the right, which they'll get handily.
EDC electing not to respond, but I do think they could have fought back into that, but that's an understandable. Let's just let the support die. We're not going to lose too much off of this. We only have the tier 1 at risk.
Oh, if one of those things had hit, Aggro was dead. Pluck would have happened from Jellly following it up, definitely, and that would have secured the kill onto him, but does manage to escape for now. They're not going to find anything more over there.
Cheeky little.
Stealing red.
Cheeky little man. Everyone on Eager over on the right-hand side, he's just going to grab this red. Chapo actually teleporting in. He's going to be looking for Jellly. Not enough damage. Dwurst is here, though. Dwurst has Cage as well if he needs to lock him out. And Chapo actually ulting over. That's not the Chapo I would expect.
I think it's because he knew the position of his team and the fact that everybody
last week's Chapo would have went for the kill.
And he would have got 3.
This is a new Chapo.
And he would have got 3 last week's Chapo.
He probably would.
Yeah, especially
he turns it around, 1v5's the team.
But Weekend stole away red buff, stole away the boars on the left-hand side. Back harpies weren't available at the time, so he's just going to soak experience on the left. This is helping him catch up on an experience which he was behind on Myflin on based off the early game. Now he's got a gold lead over him as well.
You can see both junglers going into what looks like the same builds. Brochacho just saying hello to Aggro, throwing a little bit of poke out of him. He should be fine, though. Going to be able to heal up. Actually, just going to take a trip back to the base, and the reason for this is because Gold Fury is about to spawn again, and we've seen both of the big engagements happen on this Gold Fury, and he wants to make sure he can be full health and start up an item. I'm not sure where his build was, but he's starting into the chins now.
And the funny thing is, we're at that stage of the game now where 22 minutes in, if there's a fight around the Gold Fury and neither side gets it, well, one team could get such a big lead that they get Fire Giant or a couple more towers and the game will get out of control. So it's very, very important this next Gold Fury fight, and make sure you secure for your team.
Difference in builds coming up from the junglers. Spirit's Robe actually going to be started up by Weekend there, and it's going to be Urchin that we have Myflin looking for. So
an Urchin takes a little bit while because obviously you want to get those stacks on. It's
early on. It's not gold efficient. Obviously, when you're fully stacked, it's very good. But if the game starts to slow pace and you can't find those stacks, it's going to be much harder. But I don't think this game's going to slow pace just yet. Jellly, he's going to be forced out.
No, they wasted a lot on Jellly there. 2 ultimates used, and they don't find the kill onto him. And now Chapo's trying to confirm it with the help of Brochacho too, but Brochacho's getting very low on that front line, and he'll go down instead. The other support force. Now Dwurst gets the ring off, and Aggro does not have his ultimate here. Zeus is dead.
Or any relics. Yeah, there is no hope for him. AirCougar secures that kill. Left-hand side, it's going to be Weekend going on Myflin. Jellly trying to find Chapo, who's done a great job of zoning out the back line, but Weekend, he's going to be searching forward, but he's alone.
He's going to try and
surrounded by 5.
Away. That's the big key here.
Oh, he's dead.
But jump to hammer did Myflin, and that's going to secure the kill. That'll be a Gold Fury. And a fight from Erry Day Carry that they initiated onto Jellly. They didn't even find him, and in the end, they lose 3 members.
This is very worrying for EDC. There's going to be 2 left alive, going to try and defend it, and it's Chapo once again. He's going to reset the Gold Fury, going to get stunned out, though.
Didn't get the heal off, though, which is quite important for him. Now he's going to juke around and wait for his cooldowns one more time. On the back, though, Zachsy.
Myflin.
1v1, soloed by Meerkat. Wait, not Meerkat, by Myflin. And now the Gold Fury started again by Eager.
Chapo, he's come back, and there's the ring. No ultimate for Chapo. Actually, it just came up. Gold Fury's already down, though, and now he's actually surrounded by 5.
But he's got support coming in from Brochacho. Elchapo is very, very low, going to be run down by the boys of Eager. He's going to try and look for the minions.
He should be able to get a heal off in time unless Myflin can find it. Bulwark, the heal. He's not going to kill anyone. This is kind of a matter of time. But actually, Aggro able to respawn and picks up, I believe it was Delta Marine there, who was, for some reason,
I think
alone.
He was backing. I'm guessing he was backing in that situation.
Back.
I don't think it was lazy.
Lazy back.
Well, maybe. Just awkward position back.
Oh, man. They try to get those left-hand harpies. They don't successfully.
But now because the ring around the roses chase for Chapo is a chance for Erry Day Carry to pressure mid lane, and Dwurst is in an awkward position. Just used everything to try and get himself away. Now he'll use completely everything as the ring goes down. Instead of leaving, he's going back in.
And Aggro only has Purification left up. No Sanctuary was used in the last fight, and Dwurst is going to find him. This is a recurring story as EDC force the engagements and Eager win them.
Well, at least it's action-packed here. Adanas, action-packed game for our first console game of the day. 19-11, 25 minutes in. And to be fair, at this moment in time, I couldn't call who'll win this one because it's so crazy.
It's still, Eager have just
small wins.
Been repeatedly killing the Zeus. Weekend going to try to make the big play, but it looks like the big play is going to be made against him.
The 5 shots will be the big plays. Delmarine gets 1. They're looking for the pick as well onto the Zachsy, and he'll fall down to Myflin. This tower in the mid shove forward with AirCougar support, but in comes Chapo with a very, very good lore bringer fearless combo. But now he's trapped in a circle where he can't heal, so he's trying to hold off Bulwark props. He gets out of the circle, then he heals, and now it's time to lead him on a merry goose chase one more time round while the rest of his team respawn.
Bulwark activated for Dwurst. Doesn't matter, though. Jellly stays alive. All right, so I'm going to ask you something.
42.
Minutes?
No, just 42.
Okay.
It's the answer to everything.
Okay, that's not Hitchhikers. Wait, wasn't that 43?
Don't talk to me anymore. Just stop casting. I'll solo cast this now, it's fine. Go on. Fire Giant started up by the teams. And as you can see, Team Eager, the one starting it here, Adanas has actually left the desk as Myflin goes up into the sky now, probably looking for Aggro, who's now ringed in again by Dwurst. Misses the ultimate though, and Myflin very low, has to disengage, but the detonate from Aggro hit 4 and secured Myflin's life. And so the Fire Giant gets reset, and this allows Erry Day Carry to stay in, but World Weaver secures Aggro. By Aggro. Onto Aggro, I should say. You gonna come back to the desk now?
Do you want me to come back?
Sure,
in? Okay.
sure. Supposed to defend yourself, come on. Don't walk away.
Eager trying to bait the Fire Giant there, but goes in favor of EDC.
So what was your question?
So, if you are a team and you engage and you lose the fight, right?
Yes.
What do you do then? You could maybe try it again, right? So you do it again. You try and pick Jellly,
Okay.
but then you lose the fight again.
Uh-huh.
Really hard. All right, so you're like, all right, maybe it was just... So the third time you do it again, and you still lose it. So what do you do the fourth time?
Well, what I do the fourth time is I check the graphs, which we should see now. And we'll
We already
see.
checked them.
I want to see him again.
5,600.
I want to see him again. I need to see him again. Just to see the big experience difference between the two teams. And it's not that much overall. The biggest issue, I think, is Zeus. Zeus, I believe, is level 17 right now with the highest play damage.
So Zeus is doing a lot of damage, but he's still getting focused down in these fights. You can see the 3-level difference.
That's crazy.
It's Zeus, man. And honestly, Team Eager, they've been grouped up for a lot of these times, so we've seen a lot of detonates go off, but the problem is he's still left unprotected. Think if he could actually live in these engagements,
Well,
how much more damage he'd be doing.
Just blinked in and lost half his health. Now he's got support from the Stellar Burst coming out from Zachsy and the Supernova, which is going to force the fire shards, but immediately Weaken jumps off,
Oh,
and Myflin's going to focus onto Weaken now. Weaken should fall down as we tune in with Dwurst, who's over in the solo lane, continuing to push that one in. Weaken's still alive for now, but not for long as Jellly gets the kill, and now Zachsy under pressure.
You can see AirCougar in the back line, and actually, Myflin goes for the peel. He sees Chapo kind of just bothering his carries, but here comes Aggro, and he pushes them into the ultimate. Chapo comes up with a kill. Chain Lightning can't find Delta Marine, but it's another 1-for-1, and Jellly is diving a tier 2 by himself
All the while,
against
though,
2 players.
Eager's winning because Dwurst is split pushing, getting a tier 2 tower. This is working out fine. The only problem for Eager, though, is the one engagement, they don't focus the Zeus kills them all.
Zeus does a lot of damage, and even though he has 7 deaths, he has 5 kills and the top player damage. Jellly should be able to get out of here. Brochacho doesn't want to give him up, but Brochacho's alone, and he'll be back off.
That's the funny thing. Zeus is the same level as Jellly Sobek here.
Hey, man. Sobek's feeling it. He's 2-3 and 13.
Yeah, well, he's only got 11k damage, not 26,700.
Hey, man, he's almost got as much damage as Dwurst. But to be fair, Dwurst is just sitting over there split pushing his Odin.
I mean, his job is put ring down, ring is down, goodbye Zeus.
That is his combination.
Bye-bye Zeus.
And that's the thing I talked about, too, in Picks and Bans is, you know, picking Zeus and Odin, there's 2 things to it. First off, you're obviously taking the Zeus away from Eager to where they can't get the Zeus Odin combo, but it's also you get countered by the Odin because you're trapped in the ring and there's nothing you can do, especially once your relics are down. And especially with the comp that EDC drafted, they don't have any peel for him. It's kind of like, good luck living. I'd still like to see a Breastplate of Valor from him.
Well, we saw Myflin combine there to put a bit of poke onto Chapo, but he was looking to bait in the enemy team with Erry Day Carry making a rotation to the right. Left-hand side, Aggro just warded up the Gold Fury there. Zachsy's over on the solo, the duo side. Split push on his own. This is an opportunity for Eager, if they notice it, to go for the Fire Giant.
I mean, they're going to notice it. He's talking on, or he's walking all over the minions. And they'll be able to steal away this blue buff, or at least try. It's going to be Dwurst jumping forward, looking for Chapo, who continues to be a thorn in Eager's side.
Oh, but he misses the Fearless, so has to Lawbringer away. Fire Shard's going to rain down as well. Zachsy's still over on the left-hand side, split pushing away. So this is a 4v5 as Myflin dunks onto Aggro, who's isolated and deleted.
Weekend waiting around the side, but there's not much you can do, and Zachsy's going to stick to split pushing. You can actually see Elbro, Chacho, and Chapo there in the mid lane. They're going to join the team. They're going to steal away the red. They're conceding this, it looks like, or at least relying on Weekend to do anything he can.
Weekend is the hero they need right now to try and secure the Fire Jet. You see him on Suku now, going to try and use the robotic Suku to his advantage, but he's already below half health, and he's now got no health. Chapo turns up though, trying to contest this, looking for the steal. Can he find the steal? Erry Day Carry got the Fire Giant. And a Phoenix in the left-hand side.
Somehow,
You what, mate?
Somehow, Chapo is the most annoying player to face, right? Because not
Just ban his tier.
not only is he knocking you up and diving your backline carries, and you can't kill him because he's just super mobile and making sure to stay alive, but then he just walks in and steals your fire giant. Like, actually, he just walked in and won it, and then 2'd it.
How y'all doing?
And just took it.
Yep.
And then you also lost to Phoenix.
Meanwhile, Sol got 2 towers and a Phoenix. And this is actually credit to what Aggro did in the jungle over on that left-hand side. They kept Dwurst busy on the left. Dwurst was trying to rotate to defend, and they were like, no, what we're going to do is we're going to focus you for a little while. And then Chapo made the correct call to come over and support weaken the Fire Giant, managed to steal it. Realistically, they shouldn't have got the Fire Giant, but they would have got the Phoenix still, so it would have been a situation where it goes 1 for 1.
Honestly, Weaken, was just a beautiful decoy, because he kind of just went around and distracted Myflin.
Aggro trapped in the ring again. Myflin in the sky. 5 shots raining down 2. Deletion is all the ultimates he used on one god. But can Erry Day Carry with the Fire Giant make something happen? Chapo looking for Myflin, who uses the Berserker Barrage to stop the Fearless from knocking him up.
Delta Marine, though, going to be here left-hand side. Dwurst and Jellly just trying to get out. You can see Erry Day Carry surging forward. Brochacho is on Jellly. The rest of the players are on Dwurst. He's got his shield up. Weaken just needs the knockup, but he's going to allow Chapo to finish him off.
Gets the blink of the Fearless. Now they're teleporting from Myflin once again to join the team. But Erry Day Carry will stop the chase and start the Gold Fury to close the gap in terms of gold.
And actually, Team Eager are conceding it. I believe they have had a sentry on it, but it was counter-warded, and they have to know this is going on. They're just going to back off. There's still Fire Giant on 2 important characters, or most notably on 1 important character, and Soul don't really want to fight into this and potentially throw.
Now there is an opportunity here for Erry Day Carry to look to push down mid and right side, because the Fire Minions were pushed up very, very deep on this left-hand side by Eager. So there's going to be 2 Fire Minion waves that are going to group up together to push down left that someone's going to have to defend. It's going to take at least 1 person to sit there for a while to pick up all those minions, which means there is a power play opportunity on the right side of the map, or even just mid to take down that tier 1 that's 1 hit from death.
Doesn't look like they're focused on that yet, though. You can see Weaken has come off of the Fountain. Chapo as well. They're going to be doing their blue buff. Jellly counter-warding, but he's all alone. No one from EDC going to take advantage of that. But by all means, this game is dead even. There is a slight gold lead for Eager. You can see a couple of their players have full builds, but EDC, there's only... everyone, okay, no, only Chapo's full build, but the rest all have 5 items plus, right?
And
They're
Aggro
all rank 1 or 2 into their items.
Aggro's still level 18.
Hey man, you just let him live his life. Look, he's got 9 deaths.
I mean, he's not living. He's not living though.
To be fair, there's nothing. This is like nothing on Aggro either, right?
No.
Dwurst has Blink and Myflin has his ultimate, right?
I'm just
they
impressed.
both just go on him, and there's nothing he can do because his Sanctuary was burned in the last fight where they dove him and he used it and he still died.
But I'm impressed by the fact that he's got 27k damage at level now 19 after being focused for 9 deaths, because that's all that's happened to him the whole game.
You gotta
Still get good damage
have
off.
a support that can peel for the Zeus if you pick him. Especially when there's characters like not only Sobek, but Thor and Odin that can guarantee the dive.
Dwurst is in a lot of trouble there. He's going to drop the ring defensively there more than anything else. As Myflin jumps into the ring to try and return some damage. Zachsy could fall down, disapparate, burnt to try and stay alive. Being run down still. Double tap does not connect. Going to drop Supernova in place, but it's not enough to find a kill. Aggro now on the front side alone. AirCougar channeling the World Weaver there. And still, you can see Brochacho trying to deal with 3 alone.
And he's going to have to run out of there very quickly. Jellly actually chases down Aggro. Brochacho in an awkward spot as well. He's going to be rooted, and he should be as good as dead. 1 more hit. It's going to be AirCougar who finishes him off, and Eager continue to win these team fights 3-0.
And now the Phoenix on the left-hand side is about to spawn. There's only 3 Fire Minion waves, 2.5 Fire Minion waves there over on the left-hand side for them to clear. So if they do that, they can clear it in time for the Fire Giant spawning. And this game is all in Eager's favor again, as long as Chapo doesn't steal it one more time.
You can see Eager, they're not even risking going to that Fire Giant. Definitely remember what happened 5 minutes ago. They're going to instead get control of the map. They're going to push up mid lane. Like you said, they're going to also take care of those last few fire waves in the left-hand side, and that's going to be Nuwa who can ult. And Chapo, they're going to trap him in here. I don't think they have the damage, and Chapo does have ult if he needs to get out.
He doesn't have the healing. They want to try and burn his heal, but I like what Chapo does. He recognizes that he's not got any sustain when he's in that ring, so he holds his chain to make sure he gets the power cleave off afterwards for the heal.
This is also Odin, who has a 60-second cooldown on his ultimate, as well as 20% CDR.
No, it's 4 seconds, I lied said.
It's 5. He said 5.
4 seconds.
It's 5. But he doesn't have max CDR, right?
That's true. Still
Once you have max CDR,
it's
that's
2 seconds.
It's like 1.5.
Every single time.
1.3.
And with it being level 20 as well, the attack speed reduction gets bigger and bigger as you rank up that ring. I believe it's like 60%.
It's pretty high up there. It's not something you think about too often, and that's honestly good against Zeus as well. He can't get his autos off to try and burst you.
Pulled in his Jellly once again. 2 ultimates used for him.
Right, that was fine early game,
not going to find it. Jellly going to disengage and be fine.
I was okay with that early game, but I mean, he's got Bulwark, Heartward, and Winged Blade now.
Cougar lost.
He's healthy.
Cougar isn't. But he's going to try and sustain back off this, using the Assy to sustain back up. He will have Unravel as well. But Chapo may not look for that. He's going to blink him, get the Fearless, force the Purification, continuous pressure on Cougar. Now the support from Eager. This is what Eager do very well, and that's collapse on targets and protect their backline. So he forces Chapo away. Fire Shot's going to rain, but Chapo should be fine. The World Weaver hits. 2 ults used.
Just able to heal
3
up
ults
enough.
used, and Chapo's still alive.
He's being chased down, though. You can see Zachsy in an awkward spot. Oh, no, Zachsy caught in the cage. It wasn't Zeus this time, but it was still a very important carry. Actually, able to juke out Dwurst just enough, and Dwurst is going to chase him down. AirCougar takes one in the back line. Delta Marine finishes off Zachsy, and once again, Eager. They're winning this fight.
And look what happens. Weaken was trying to push in mid lane there, get a tier 2 tower, but teleport from Myflin gets him back here. Blink from Weaken round the back of him. That fight in the jungle could be quite interesting as Cougar did leave it. Now they're looking for Brochacho, and this is the story. Every Day Carry trying to play Ring Around the Roses with this team and keep them all on their toes and trying to keep themselves relevant, but slowly but surely dying.
And El Brochacho is going to run around, but Dwurst doesn't even care if he kills him. He's just making sure that he won't be able to make it to the Fire Giant. You can see left-hand side as well. Aggro going to be going up there, and Eager, they're going to secure the Fire Giant. Uncontested this time. No steal from Chapo. He's out. Oh, maybe not. Myflin carried some minions with him, so he knows.
Man, Brochacho must be salty after that. He's like, God, is he still alive?
No.
Double tap. The second swing back saves it 35-14. This looks like this could be the end now because respawns are very, very long. And with Aggro getting hit inside the ring one more time, maybe he'll find a kill with a double tap. Nope, Sanctuary saved it, but Jellly will secure it. And 2 Phoenixes will fall here, guaranteed.
5 seconds. 2 players left alive for EDC. It's going to be Chapo jumping in, finding a 3-man Fearless, but at this point, he simply doesn't have the damage to kill any of these targets. He's going to turn his attention to AirCougar, but he's going to be slowed down. And there's the minions to stun him if Delta Marine can get it off. He falls.
He does fall down, and now they're going to look for Zachsy with the World Weaver connecting Purification to avoid the flip. But you can't avoid the fire shards, however much you try to do it, unless you use a Relic of Sanctuary. And now it looks like Eager are going to go for the end. What an exciting, crazy, shenanigan game that could have gone either way. But at the end of the day, Eager showing their experience in the console world once again, finding the win in this best of 3.
EDC doing their best to hold out with the steal from Chapo, assisted by Weekend for distracting them, allowing him to kind of get in there. But
they never made it work afterwards.
Eager were just a little bit too good, and I really think this is kind of a draft year coming out for the squad of EDC. They had 5 carries. That was their problem. They had no one to peel for the Zeus, more specifically.
I think the appeal for Zeus is the big important thing, especially against the Odin. You're going to get dived by Odin every single time. Soul can self-peel with a Disapparate, but how do you escape the Odin ring?
Let's take a quick look at Dwurst, though. In this Odin, one of the biggest Regans, Eager, were actually able to turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very good performance on this for the most part. We saw him rotate around the map. Early on, Chapo got the kill onto Cougar with that rotation.
That was beautiful.
But Dwurst made the rotation soon after and got a triple, I believe, off that.
That was the Gold Fury steal. Actually, EDC, I think that was that the first Gold Fury or the second Gold Fury they tried? With Chapo's kill.
I think it was Chapo's kill was the first Gold Fury.
Okay, so Chapo actually trying to stop Dwurst, but Dwurst still manages to run past him. They find a single kill, and then this is just Odin being Odin against low.
Now he loses Myflin here, but what he wants to do is bring down the ring to lock everybody in. So he positioned himself to secure it. Bird Bomb connects perfectly as well as he picks up the second one, and then obviously once again we got poor old Aggro. Sat in the ring every single day.
We probably got like 10 clips of this exact same thing.
He cannot wait for Spectral Armor to be around.
I guarantee you we've got 10 clips of that exact same thing. Like it was just nonstop. Yeah. It's just like, hey Zeus, my cooldown's 5 seconds according to Allied. It's up, so I'm gonna ring you, and then you're gonna burn all your relics, and then still die because your team has no peel. And then do it again in another 5 seconds.
And Delta Marine over in the mid lane again. I credit this player a lot over on the Xbox, on the console side of things, because he has very, very good performances. Once again, picked up a decent double during that game too with his performance. Played the new War under pressure quite a bit, but self peel is important.
and he did a good job of surviving, although he had a team comp that honestly helped him stay alive.
Yeah.
Not only Jellly having knockups, but the stun from Thor as well. We saw AirCougar doing a very good job of peeling in the backline. It was kind of like Chapo came in, and then like it was 3 players always, Delta Marine, AirCougar, and then usually a third, depending on who it was, whether it was Dwurst or Myflin. Just go, all right, let's kill Chapo, or at least force him low, and then we'll focus on the rest of the team.
Well, guys, we're going to get ourselves ready for the next game. It is a best of 3. These teams are warming themselves up, ready for it, and get themselves into picks and bans. When they're back, we will be back with the latest action of the North American Console League Qualifiers.